make the perfect YA gang?
Oh, I got an idea.
Huh?
Take notes. Okay. A thief.
Mm-hmm.
Spy.
Okay.
A convict. A runaway and a sharpshooter.
So far so good.
And a person who's magically oriented.
Ooh la la.
Hey book gals, how are you doing? I hope you're doing alright. So today's video is going to be the Six of Crows book review, and I know you're like, what? Another Six of Crows book review from YouTube? This book is as popular as the Squid Game. I am losing my mind. But the reason that I tried it is because one of my viewers commented down below that they would really like to see my reaction for the Six of Crows duology. So here I am after reading the book. I am just here sitting down. I'm cozy, all snuggled up. I'm gonna try to tell you all of the things that I loved in Six of Crows as much as possible, because this is gonna be a gush review. And also another reason why I tried this book is because of the hype that it's been receiving over the years. And I do know that this is a really long, this was written really long ago. So this was on like YouTube. Everyone was like reading the books and then recommending it to everyone else. It was on Instagram. Everyone was posting pics of it on Instagram, and then it was even on Twitter. I'm not using Twitter, but I'm just saying. And it was on Pinterest. They made a whole aesthetic of Six of Crows, and everyone was making memes out of it. So I wanted to know what was really in the book and why it was so much the hype. And as I dived into it, I was like expecting it to be a seriously action derived plot and action derived story, but it wasn't. And I do know why people hoping for the characters love this book, because it's just a huge mess of character work in a really good way, and I just loved it. And there are a lot of things and interactions with the characters and everything that I just loved. The humorous scenes that the characters were just like laughing at each other's jokes, and then they were rooting for each other, and the friendships between the characters and the interactions was just amazing. And here I am to talk about it, so let's get into the video. So one thing you should know when you're like going into the Six of Crows is that if you're hoping for the action plot, like serious planning is gonna happen, something serious is gonna happen, major things gonna happen, and then there's gonna be a lot of action components here, don't go into it. I mean, this is amazing, but the plot is more of like focusing on the characters and what they are trying to do, and all the like these outcasts coming together, and they are interacting like a found family. So that was really amazing, and it touched me, so because I'm a really emotional person, and I just loved all those friendship and everything of the characters. So with that being said, we'll dive right in the plot. So the plot line starts off with this teenage boy called Kaz Brekker, who is living in Ketterdam in Kutch. So, you know, as I talked about, you know, Nina and Inej Ghafa and the Grishaverse world, you can just check it out on my video. I will give it in the link in the description below. So as I talked about in that video, there's this place called Kutch in the same Grishaverse world. So Kaz Brekker is living in that area in this country called Kutch, and then there is another state in it called the Ketterdam, and then there's like a small slum or an area called the Barrel, and he lives in that. So the Barrel consists of mostly thieves and thugs and con artists and people who are like committed to some sort of crime. So it mainly deals with people who are like bosses and thugs and everyone who is like having business and everything along the Ketterdam area and along the Barrel. And Kaz Brekker is one of this council. He's working like a thief for them. He's basically like conducting business for them. He's basically like a thief. He's a criminal. So it starts off with Kaz Brekker, and the story is basically about 6 outcasts or 6 criminals who basically come together like a group, and then they commit this big impossible heist. So that's that. and they are not necessarily criminals, they're not all of them. After they start on the highest, two of them mainly, I think Nina, Matthias and Wylan, these three people were not criminals back then, but then after they go into the highest, they're more like committed to the thievery and spies and everything, so they're basically kind of criminals now. So after that happens, Kaz Brekker is like going into this deal with some big person who with some big merchant, and then that person is like, okay, let me give you a deal. So you have to break out into this biggest fortress, the world's deadliest and the most secured fortress, and then you have to retrieve this scientist, something. So this is basically starting off with the Param. Param is a drug that the Grisha take. So the Grisha are like, if you take the Param, the Grisha will have powers that they shouldn't have. For example, a tide maker, if they take that Param thingy, they will be like going through walls, they'll be surpassing walls and any guard that is protecting them, any borders. And then the person is like, what if people have the power that they shouldn't have? That means the world will be chaotic and deranged. Not as if it's the chaos and deranged already. So he's saying that, and then you need to break into the ice core to retrieve this scientist called the Wylan Van Eck, who's basically a Shuhan scientist, I believe. I can't remember much. So you have to find this person find this scientist who is basically in Fiera, and then you have to in the ice court, and then you have to bring him back so that the Param can be stopped before other people, before it harms other Grisha and the people, and the world goes into apocalypse mode. And then Kaz is like, okay, but how do I know the scientist is still alive after his creations? And then he's like, we don't know he's alive. And Kaz takes his word because he's a famous merchant, and no famous merchant ever surpasses his word. So after that, Kaz is like, okay, I need to form this group of these people, and then I need to use them to break into the ice court, and then you need to bring back the scientists. So that's that, let's plan. So the first person he meets and arranges into the group is called a girl called Inej Ghafa, and then she is basically like a spy. She's called a spider because she sneaks out into judges and killers and thieves and thugs alike, and then she retrieves the information. Kaz and his thingy, the deal that is going on with his boss. So that's what she does, and she is like basically skilled in being silent and, you know, like walking without even her steps being recognized by the other people. So she is known as the Wraith. That is like her business name sort of. So she's like being the spy and everything, so they name her the Wraith. I honestly don't know what the Wraith means, but I do think that is a cool name. So Inej Ghafa is one person, and then there is this boy called Jesper Fahey, I believe. Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. So Jesper is like a sharpshooter whom I believe has the ability of handling guns and rifles and anything that has to do with metals. So he is like he has very good hands with guns and metals and everything. And then there is a big twist that actually reveals why he's talented of such things, and it's not honestly that big, but you might have guessed it has something to do with materials. It has something to do with so that's why he has this talent for metals and guns and materials alike. So that's that. And then Jesper has his own issues of his father and his farm that he left behind in Zenik, because he's a Zenik, and he also has this kind of friendship. I believe he's the right hand of Kaz before this highest started. So it's a really good interaction with Kaz, and he believes that he's kind of friends with him. I mean, nobody can be friends with Kaz Brekker. They can't be that cool. So he has his talks with him. He's actually jealous if someone else gets the attention of Kaz. So I believe he's the right hand of Kaz. Next, there's this girl called Nina and Zenik. So Nina Zenik is a heartrender. She's a corporal key and a Grisha who worked for Rafgar. and when she was little, the Rafkin Civil War started with Sankta Alina and everyone, so she wasn't able to participate in that war, but she is like a very bubbly and cheerful character. She's one of the best characters I have read in YA, and I just love Nina and her characteristics. So she's bold, she's brave, she is bubbly, and she is also very patriotic towards her nation, or very patriotic towards Ravka, and she also appears in the King of Scars, I believe. So yeah, she appears in the Little Palace. So Nina is her heart turned above Grisha, and she is needed for the highest, and she also works under the boss of Kaz. So that's Nina Zenik. Next we have Matthias, who is a Fjerdan Druskel. So Druskel are these witch hunters who hunt Grisha, and basically the powerful Grisha from Ravka, and they are told to fear them, and then he's part of the Druskel, but he leaves them to with Nina because he's like helping her survive, and then Nina betrays him by putting him in a jail with this crime of being a slaver or something. So that's after that incident happened, then Kaz invites him because Nina says him to do so. So that's the character. Next we have a villain who is the son of Wylan Van Eck, that person who sets the assignment that sets the deal with Kaz, as I mentioned before. So he's the son of that person. So Kaz is like, why are we, Jesper and everyone is like, why are we even kidnapping that person? I mean, like, why are we even joining him in our crew? Like, he's not even talented. And Kaz is like, he has some talent in demolitions, and then everyone is like, there are better people in demolitions than that. And then Kaz is like, all right, we need to get in level with Van Eck so that, you know, he wouldn't like trick them without giving the money, so that they need to be on a level. So intelligent Kaz. So that's villain, and he also plays a big part in the second book, The Crooked Kingdom. So these characters are arranged to go to the ice court, to break into the ice court and bring this scientist back, and then everyone starts planning of what this layout of the ice court would be, and then they make plans. So the plans obviously go wrong at the end, but then there is this huge plan that Nina and Inej come up with, and then it works out, and then they have to make a lot of sacrifices to this. Then you know what's gonna happen at the end. The person who sets the deal for Kaz actually tells him that we are not going to give your money back, because this is actually like he wants the Jada pattern for his own use, that he is going to give it to the Grisha soldiers, and then he is going to make this world a chaos so that he can become a better business person. So that's really greedy, you know, sending 6 teenagers into a highest, and then they coming back without getting killed. They could have literally got killed even when they were entering. So that's really greedy and really wild. So don't like that person. And after this happens, they learn that they are friends. They go through a lot of sacrifices. They go through betrayals by their favored people. So that's what I really loved about this book. It has a lot of different lessons to teach us about friends and everything. So it was a really good read. I didn't feel like it was a 400-page book. I just felt like it was a short book of 100 pages, and then yeah, it was over. It was a thrill ride. It was so like it was so full of characters, so full of emotions, so full of action and everything. So that felt like a really short roller coaster for me. Really loved the book. I would give it a 5 stars. And talking about A Crooked Kingdom, I just realized that this book was 550 pages of what happens after after that person doesn't give them the money, and then Kaz is like, okay, we need to get our money back. So I just knew that it was pure torture at the beginning, but it was nothing like that. I just stumbled upon like 100 pages in the Crooked Kingdom, and I just love it absolutely so far. But there's not much action or anything that you can expect in the Crooked Kingdom, though something big really happens. Spoiler, but I'm not gonna say it. Oh my god, should I say it? Okay, someone is gonna die. Okay, someone is gonna die in Crooked Kingdom. I'm really sorry, but I did feel the need to say that out loud, and I don't know who that someone is, but I do know for a fact that someone is gonna die in Crooked Kingdom, and it's gonna be so emotional, and I am expecting tears after this book ends. So that's for the Crooked Kingdom. And that's basically for the Six of Crows. I wanted it to be a really short and sweet review so that you can get an idea of what it is. And if you haven't read the book, just go and read it, because why? The internet is so full of Six of Crows things. You need to read it right now so that you can become one of these victims, because it was really lovely and it was really awesome, and the characters and work and everything, even the minor details of the writing style of Lee Bardugo has improved a lot since Shadow and Bone, and I loved it. I'm a fan of Six of Crows, but I'm expecting to hate Crooked Kingdom. So overall, I will give Six of Crows a 5 stars, a 5 absolute stars. So definitely love it, definitely recommend it. Go check it out right now. So that's it for the review, and you know what? Keep subscribing. Subscribe to my channel, share, support, like my channel, and then stay safe, keep reading, stay happy. See you soon with another video of Crooked Kingdom and another Halloween video that I prepared. So